Introduction. The light within us never fades. We only need to learn how to see it through the veil of the mind. The word Sattvavajaya may sound unfamiliar to the modern ear. But behind this Sanskrit term lies something far greater than just another method of treating the mind. Sattvavajaya Chikitsa is the art of restoring light. It is the ancient science of helping a person remember their true nature, restore clarity of consciousness, and, by overcoming inner darkness, live in harmony with themselves and the world. In Sanskrit, sattva means purity, clarity, and balance. Avajaya means victory, overcoming, or regaining control. Chikitsa means treatment or the art of care. Thus, Sattvavajaya Chikitsa literally means healing through the victory of pure consciousness over the distortions of the mind. Today, in a world drowning in informational noise, anxiety, fear, and a loss of meaning, the knowledge of Sattvavajaya becomes not just relevant but essential. Psychology, medicine, coaching, and spiritual practices all are searching for wholeness. But true wholeness is not achieved externally. It arises from within. The crisis of wholeness in modern psychology. Modern scientific psychology faces a profound crisis. There are countless schools and directions: cognitive, behavioral, psychoanalytic, humanistic, existential, positive psychology. Each offers its own model of the human being, its own therapeutic strategies, and its own theories of suffering and healing. But there is no unified, synthetic approach that encompasses the full range of human experience, from body to spirit, from behavior to consciousness. As a result, psychology resembles a collection of fragmented maps, but lacks a complete map of reality itself. Psychological practice often becomes the selection of methods by symptom, rather than a path to genuine inner liberation. The crisis of wholeness in psychology reflects a deeper crisis of wholeness in the human perception of self. How Sattvavajaya solves the problem of wholeness. Rooted in ancient Vedic knowledge, Sattvavajaya Chikitsa offers an integrated vision. The human being is not just a body, mind, and emotions. The human being is consciousness, Atman, expressed through various levels of being. Misunderstanding one's true nature is the source of suffering. Remembering oneself is the path to healing. Unlike modern schools that fragment the person into functions, behavior, thought, emotion, Sattvavajaya sees them as expressions of a single process, the movement of consciousness through matter. Sattvavajaya thus integrates philosophy, psychology, and spiritual practice into a single system, allows us to work with the body, mind, energy, and deep memory. It is not a set of techniques, but a return to the wholeness of the human being as a unified field of consciousness, experiencing itself through the play of forms. This is its unique significance in response to the challenges of modern science and medicine. The importance of using Sanskrit terminology. Why we use Sanskrit terms. In this book, we deliberately use Sanskrit terminology because Sanskrit offers a precise, coherent, and profound system for describing consciousness, the mind, suffering, and liberation. 1. Sanskrit is stable and systemic. Sanskrit concepts have been shaped over millennia of philosophical and medical practice, are logically, metaphysically, and practically interconnected. Each term is embedded in a clear system, supported by schools of thought, darshanas, with consistent meanings across philosophy, psychology, medicine, Ayurveda, logic, Nyaya, ethics, and lifestyle, Dharma Shastras. In Sanskrit, a term lives within a system. It is not floating in abstraction. 2. The problem of modern scientific terminology. Modern scientific terminology is fragmented, constantly shifting, and often lacks internal coherence. We see that. Psychological terms are borrowed from Latin, Greek, English, German, with no unified logic. Concepts like psyche, ego, consciousness, unconscious differ from school to school. New ideas are introduced hastily, often without deep philosophical grounding. As a result, scholars and practitioners must constantly relearn terminology. Students face contradictions between systems. There is no cross-disciplinary unity. Physiology, psychology, and philosophy speak in different tongues. Modern science has built a Babel of terminology. 3. The advantage of Sanskrit. Sanskrit was designed to describe reality on all levels, from the gross to the subtlest. It includes inner states of consciousness, maintains continuity between body, mind, consciousness, and cosmic order, Rita. By learning the basic Sanskrit system, you won't need to relearn constantly. You'll avoid contradictions between disciplines. You'll discover a unified vision of the person and the cosmos. 4. Sanskrit as the language of knowledge itself. The Vedas, Upanishads, Samhitas, Shastras, and Darshanas, all Vedic knowledge, is written in Sanskrit. There we find logic, Nyaya, psychology, Sattvavajaya, medicine, Ayurveda, ethics, Dharma Shastra, and art, Natya Shastra, all coordinated through unified concepts like Atman, Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahamkara, Prana, Smriti, Viveka, and others. Sanskrit is not just a descriptive language, it is the language of the very structure of reality. Our approach. That's why, in this book, we use original Sanskrit terms. We provide translations and contextual explanations. We demonstrate how they reveal the nature of the mind, suffering, and healing. Thus, we don't just talk about consciousness, we immerse ourselves in the living fabric of consciousness knowledge, preserved across the millennia. The unique value of Ayurveda and Sattvavajaya as heritage of an ancient civilization. Ayurveda and Sattvavajaya are the voice of a bygone age. Ayurveda is not merely a medical system. It is a complete knowledge of the human being, consciousness, body, and nature, formed in the heart of a lost civilization with a unique vision of life and the universe. Sattvavajaya, as a part of Ayurveda, is a monument of that ancient culture, a complete holistic system of psychotherapy transmitted nearly intact across time. Why this knowledge is unique? From many great civilizations, Egypt, Sumer, the Maya, the Olmecs, we have only fragments, myths, architecture. Only the Vedic civilization has left us a complete and internally coherent knowledge system about the person, the mind, consciousness, body, and cosmos. Ayurveda and its psychotherapeutic branch Sattvavajaya are among the few surviving whole fragments of that wisdom. A great treasure passed down to us. This is not a reconstruction from fragments, not the guesswork of archaeologists, not a theory reassembled from scattered pieces. This is a complete body of knowledge, transmitted through texts, practices, philosophy, and medicine, preserving a living connection between body, mind, and consciousness. Why this book was written? This book was written to illuminate the greatness and relevance of Sattvavajaya as a science of consciousness, show how ancient wisdom answers the most difficult questions in modern psychology, and transmit this treasure, not as a museum artifact, but as a living, practical discipline for people today. We stand before the treasure house of an ancient civilization, and our task is not merely to admire it, but to learn to live by its wisdom once again. Why I chose this topic? Because I have seen people suffer, because I walk the path from confusion to clarity, because I believe the light within us is real, and each person has the right to reclaim it. Sattvavajaya is not a religion, not mysticism, and not an abstract theory. It is a practical, time-tested science about how to strengthen the mind, purify consciousness, and rebuild life from its deepest foundations. This book is for everyone who is seeking themselves, wants to help others, longs to unite science and spirit in one living knowledge. How this book is structured. Part 1 explores the philosophical roots of Sattvavajaya. Part 2 presents a psychological model of the human being and the causes of suffering. Part 3 describes specific healing methods and practices. Part 4 discusses application in the modern world and the future of psychology. This book is more than knowledge. It is an invitation to a journey home, to where there is no struggle, no fear, where the light burns within each of us. Ready to begin the journey? Subscribe to the channel. More readings to come.